Okay, this is MXUX. I'm going to try to go through this information. This is a pretty dense article from the Youngstown Business Journal, August 29, 23. This is a pretty comprehensive update on Lordstown Motors. The headline, Judge rejects FOXCON's motion to dismiss. Summary of that, FOXCON wanted this judge to dismiss the ability of Lordstown to file bankruptcy and then force them into a liquidation, which would have allowed FOXCON to easier access to obtain the IP and technology, in my opinion. And the judge said no. This judge, by the way, is really favoring Lordstown and, in my opinion, is carrying a torch for Lordstown in this. She approved the $40 million settlement with Karma Automotive, and that was the infotainment company. And as I said in my previous video on this, this was a shakedown lawsuit. And again, Lordstown Motors settled it in this case to expedite this hearing. And I think it pleased the judge that it was out of the way as well. So again, recruiting their team, there is no indentured servitude. They, to the best of my knowledge, and this is not my opinion, an attorney had written me a summary of this case. They really didn't have a case, but Lordstown, when someone files a case, you got to respond, and they had their back up against the wall here, and they had to do the settlement. Trade secrets, not an issue. Anyway, let's move past that. That took away, I believe they have 180 million, so they've lost 40 million of that, so they have 140 million left in their cash on hand. And the settlement was approved. No one admitted guilt or anything. This is a monetary settlement to the best of my knowledge. It says here that this hearing, which was a Zoom call, 4 hours, and the judge had enough. She was rolling her eyes, closing her eyes. The Taiwanese, the lawyer for FOXCON, went on in his summation to tell why she was ruling against FOXCON and allowing the assets to proceed. Now, she told it's later in this article, she told this lawyer to just can it with the rebuttal to the lawsuit filed against you. But anyway, this is what the judge said, why she ruled against FOXCON's dismissal movement. In its FOXCON's dismiss or liquidate motion claimed that Lordstown filed Chapter 11 in bad faith and without a valid bankruptcy purchase to gain tactical litigation advantage against FOXCON. What it was a defense of their right to file a fraud claim against FOXCON, and also to retain the value of their intellectual property. In contemplating this, Rath ruled it's not in the best interest of the creditors to either convert this case to Chapter 7 liquidation or dismiss the case. And she says later, I don't view this as a two-party dispute. So in other words, she is, disregarding FOXCON. I mean, she is very dismissive of FOXCON, in my opinion, in all these statements. I think FOXCON is going to have a tough row to hoe with this case they filed, this lawsuit against, the bad faith lawsuit, whatever it is, against FOXCON filed by Lordstown. I think they are going to lose that. This is what the judge said. There are employees. There's an effort to sell the assets of the business. And listen to this. This is what the judge said. I can't say the debtors post-petition conduct was improper, that is executive management at Lordstown. There was no indication of management committing fraud. So, you know, this is entirely, and FOXCON is gaslighting here. This is entirely the result of FOXCON filing a false CFA statement and then going on to back out of a signed deal they did with Lordstown Motors. This has nothing to do with Lordstown management or the technology or the endurance, in my opinion. There's other factors, including the stock price. You can look at my other videos on BlackRock regarding that. Shortly after the hearing started, Wright advised FOXCON attorney Michael Whalen not to spend time rebutting the fraud complaint that Lordstown Motors filed against FOXCON when it also filed the bankruptcy. So this guy is trying to, he's trying to fight this fraud case. What he's trying to do, this is an adversarial proceeding, and I don't think it's supposed to be adversarial, but it is, and he is trying to litigate the fraud case and persuade this judge, and she just basically told him, shut up. And down here, she emphasized, I don't view this as a two-party dispute. In other words, FOXCON is not the only creditor. FOXCON, quit acting like you're the only creditor. And in my opinion, FOXCON, quit acting like you're innocent as a sleeping baby Jesus, because you caused all this. And this is some statements from the opposing attorney. And again, you know, his job, he's made it his job to be adversarial in this case. And keep in mind that, they wanted to buy Lordstown. Lordstown filed bankruptcy for no other reason than to shake down FOXCON. This is total gaslighting. FOXCON backed out of the deal to shake down Lordstown. The debtors wanted to sell FOXCON the assets, and FOXCON wasn't interested. And FOXCON wasn't interested in a shakedown. There has been no, Lordstown Motors was looking for a partner, and there were negotiations going on. And certainly FOXCON was one of the people they were talking to. There was no public news on this. How they are going to prove this in open court, and what documentation and so forth they have, I don't know. According to Dan Niavaji, who knows a thing or two, this was not a valid offer. It was a stalling technique. The debtors also tried to shake down Karma. Again, total gaslighting. Karma shook down Lordstown, in my opinion. I don't, not my opinion. This is an attorney that looked at the information. Anyway, I mean, it's up to debate, but this is what I've been told. Lordstown received a settlement offer months ago from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, but has failed to respond, according to Murphy. Again, no news of this, but I would add, this Securities and Exchange Commission case, and you can review they based this Securities Exchange Commission investigation on a Hindenburg report. This is, in my opinion, not even a valid SEC investigation. And, if I were Lordstown, I would be looking for a dismissal of this SEC exchange investigation. And this is a nothing burger based on Hindenburg. Give me a break, Lordstown Motors also failed to respond to FOXCON proposal to buy for $70 million, which is the amount the deal was supposed to be, along with the new robo-taxi car. And what FOXCON is trying to do, in my opinion, what it looks like, what it would appear to be, is that they want to move ahead with this project, and they want to use Hub Motors, and they want to use Lordstown Motors IP and the rest of their technology they have there to make this project, and they want to own it. They want Lordstown out of the picture. They want to steal the tech, steal the IP, make the product, own it all. And this hub motor technology, and this is the first in the world, a production model using this technology that's in production. I don't care if it was 40 models or whatever. This is groundbreaking as far as manufacturing goes. Take a chance on, and anyway, this is all rebuttal from the FOXCON attorney. And now they're offering a process that takes up to a $500 million investment for a buyer to become going concern. EV startup would need $500 million to buy hard tooling and then 7 years of full production to achieve a return on investment. And they, this is a, the ROI and breaking even. We all know about Tesla's profitability and its stock price while it was unprofitable. And, this is, in my opinion, it's not relevant. I mean, there is, it's chicken and the egg. If there is no truck, there are no clients, blah, blah, blah. If there is a truck, there are tons of fleet clients. Look at my video on this. They're rationing EVs to fleets now. How can there be no demand for the product? Question about the failure of Lordstown's vertical manufacturing, the cost to build. Yeah, it's $250,000 per vehicle. Yeah, when you build 4 vehicles, this is when you spread that cost over 4 vehicles. Yeah, this is a ridiculous, meaningless number. There are 5 unique buyers. 40 have been sold. Yeah, they had to stop production again. Chicken and egg. Believe me, this truck would sell. Ford is not even the Ford CEO, their battery is so big they can't even charge that thing. The endurance, again, is better on that metric as well. And the range is not an issue for fleets. This is ridiculous. As for FOXCON's attempt to purchase substantially all of Lordstown's assets, so again, FOXCON wanted to buy everything at fire. They know, as I said, what FOXCON wants to do is acquire this IP, acquire the hub motor technology, acquire Lordstown's battery technology and all their work that's been done on homologation and certification on these systems, and use it on their own model, which is what the deal was, that they were going to do that for FOXCON. As FOXCON's attempt to purchase substantially all of Lordstown's assets, an offer was received, and Niavaji says, and again, Niavaji knows a thing or two, believe me. He's a deal maker, not a binding offer. So it's not a binding offer. And these guys have already backed out of one deal. How are you going to take that offer? And it had conditions as a board we did not see as actionable. Of course, how are you going to trust FOXCON when they've already backed out of the main deal? A second letter from FOXCON restated their offers was received right before the bankruptcy. This was a delaying tactic, and given the conditions of the offer and the fact it wasn't binding, we didn't believe FOXCON would go through with it. So again, FOXCON is pulling out the brass knuckles and their lawyers getting down in the dirt here, doing everything they can to besmirch old Lordstown here, and this judge is not buying it. FOXCON, you better settle this suit about the fraud and so forth with Lordstown, or you're going to be in a world of hurt. In upholding the validity of Lordstown's bankruptcy position and denying FOXCON's motion to liquidate, Wright said, the reason for filing bankruptcy was that they could not run a sale process without the consents of FOXCON. So again, you can see here, she's saying, FOXCON, you're gaslighting, you're lying. There's a value in a court order that allows the sale to close promptly and without possibility of appeal. So, you know, FOXCON is talking out of both sides of their mouth. I mean, I cannot believe the duality of FOXCON here. I mean, they are, as I said, they're trying every possible trick. This judge simply is not standing for it. And I think you can see, you can read this at your leisure. This is the Youngstown Business Journal. And go over this. This judge is not buying any of this. And September 8th, which is coming up next week, there is the deadline for assets. No stalking horse bid has been received that would set the low bar for the sale price. So there's you know, the company that knows the most about this technology and what's going on here is FOXCON.